The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Spokane, Washington, on your new apparatus, job number 31252. Please utilize this job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. First, let's start with a few images here from the front, both right and left sides, in addition with the rear of the apparatus, just to get a general sense of the location of items, and then we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about some of the specifics on your apparatus. Let's go ahead and start with the aerial component. Starting at the top of the apparatus in the front, we'll start with the front bucket area. First, there are two stops located in the front on the lower section of the aerial bucket, in addition with two lights. Moving toward the center, you have a rain down sprinkler and also an aerial drain. Moving up from that location, we're going to find the running lights, which are located on also the body of the cab of the apparatus. Moving up from that location, we're going to find 4 emergency lights forward facing. Located in the center, you'll find your opticom. And then moving up, you'll find the dual nozzles located on the right and left side. Let's go ahead and take a general look here from the different perspective, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the components as we see here. First, underneath, you'll have an additional access door on the right and left side of the apparatus, in addition with strap hooks. Located on the bumper, we're going to find dual air horns in the front bumper itself. Located in the center of the front bumper, you'll find your electronic siren, PA announcement system. Moving up from that location, your designator, Tower 2, in addition with 2 handles here to gain access into the covered storage area. Up onto the body itself, you'll find a turn indicator and a marker light. Moving inward from that location, you'll find the headlight cluster offering the low and high beams. High beam will be the enter beam. And moving up from that location, you're going to find 2 forward-facing emergency lights. Located in the center, your mechanical siren. Here's some close-ups of those images. This is with that compartment in the open position. You can see for tool or hose storage. Close-up here of the lighting housing. Outer edge is going to be the marker, turn indicator, and then the headlights. Just behind the passenger and driver door, you'll find additional access. And also behind the rear section doors, you'll find additional access storage. As we look inside the compartment here just after the cab, you'll find a through compartment has access both right and left side of the vehicle. Underneath that location, you'll find your folding wheel chocks. Up in the very top compartment, you're going to find your electrical compartment housing the generator control and also your S1A controls, which stands for shore power, and G stands for generator. This is your generator panel, 1 through 12. This is the S1A. This is the shore power. As we look inside, I'd like to point out there are some warning labels here regarding electrical shock. Let's move up in this same compartment, but to the left-hand side, we're going to find first a shore outlet. This is for shoreline power. You'll also find your air compressor plugged into shore power, and also the control here for your Harrison hydro generator. Located in the lower section, you'll find an additional adjustable shelf, currently in a fixed position. In the next compartment, you'll find an adjustable shelf and interior lighting. As we look to the base area, you'll find a caution label behind this access door regarding your DEF fill location, 4.5 US gallons. We're also going to find some danger and warning labels in this area regarding electrical shock and electrical entanglement, and also the use of your owner's manual. I would like to direct you to the outlet here. This is going to be a shoreline and also a generated outlet. It is a 20 amp outlet. In between both the dual wheels, you'll find SCBA bottle storage with a compartment underneath the middle section. This is also your low sulfur diesel fill location, a silver cap. Once again, blue was your DEF. Additional bottle storage. Center compartment here just over the rear axle. As we move just to the section here beneath the ladder, you'll find side-facing floodlights. As we look just inside this compartment, you'll find adjustable shelves and also your outrigger pads located at the base. There are 2 in this location. Let's take a look at the rear section of your apparatus, first starting with the cluster of lights on the left and right. You have a backup, turn, and brake, and just above that cluster you'll find an emergency warning lights. As we move upward toward the top of the vehicle, you'll find your shoreline inlet. This is a plug. You'll also find at the very top a 360-degree emergency light. Moving to the right of that light, you'll find 2 adjustable rear-facing lights. You'll find significant grab handles for access up into the aerial ladder location. And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the compartments in this area. There are a total of 4. There's the roll-up door and these additional 3 compartments. We'll break those down in just a few moments. Let's talk a little bit about the tow hooks in the very back. There are some warning labels on the side of each of those tow hooks. In the center, this is your large diameter aerial inlet. To the right of that, you'll find a right to left indicator for degrees. Also at the very top, you'll find your backup camera. Let's take a look at some of these items a little bit closer. Once again, shoreline inlet. As we look at the compartment just up from this location, you'll find tool storage here for long tool storage. Just beneath that compartment, we'll find all of your controls here for diagnostics, interface, stabilizer power, your override, and also your emergency stop, and also the portable control module. In the center compartment is where your ladders are stored. On the left and right hand side of that ladder location, you'll find the links of those ladders that coincide for their storage location. Let's go back down to the bottom. I would like to point out that if caps are under pressure, there is hazards associated with that, and that's what this warning label is for. Once again, your large diameter aerial inlet. To the right, you'll find your aerial inlet pressure gauge. Just beneath that, you'll find the right to left or side to side aerial indicator in degrees. To the right of that location, we're going to take a look at the aerial drain behind this access door. And then also there's information here on the side and warning labels regarding the use of these tow hooks. Looking inside, you'll find the ball valve located for the aerial drain. Just up from that ball valve, you'll find a relief valve, which you should not cap. Let's go back out to the compartments here. You can see this is a hose storage compartment. This is on the right-hand side of the vehicle. As we look in the center area here, we talked about the reverse camera. Let's go up now toward the top of the pedestal. And just at the base of the pedestal, you'll find this access for your breathing air. Inside the access door is the control for your breathing air. There's also a fill location on the right. Let's talk a little bit about the pedestal itself. On the left-hand side, you'll find an audible speaker. You'll also find additional warning labels on the exterior of the panel and an access door down in the lower section. We'll cover all of those items next. First, let's start with the compartment in the open position. On the lid itself, you'll find some warning and danger indicators here on the left, and also on the left in the lid itself, on the top of it, you'll find your 100-foot steel aerial platform load chart and also specifications. This is for the waterway when it is dry, meaning not charged, and also when it has water charged in the system. There's the difference in those elevations. Let's look back at the pedal itself. You're going to find your emergency stop in red. As we move to the right-hand side, you'll find your Pierce command zone. A tremendous amount of help here right at your fingertips. You'll also find indicators for the left and right monitor active, an emergency stop in red once again.
the monitor for selecting left or right, your tracking lights. Down the next set of switches, you'll find the front basket AC light, under basket AC lights, front basket DC lights. You're going to find a switch here for your aerial speed for slow, normal, and fast, and also the switch for emergency hydraulic power. Down in the lower section, you'll find your nozzle control here for stream and fog, right and left, lower and raise. You'll also find your ladder controls for extend and retract, left and right, and lower and raise. You'll also find your communication, volume control, and a push to talk. On the ladder itself, you'll find a degree here for your aerial elevation. Looking in the center console underneath the ladder area, you'll find controls here also for emergency power. This is your emergency stop and also your PTO. On the right hand side on the ladder, you'll find additional markings indicating your ladder has been stored when they are aligned. On the left hand side of the apparatus, you'll find a 14-foot roof ladder. And on the right hand side, you'll find an 8-foot roof ladder. Let's go ahead and move up to the fly section here at the very tip. You'll find an additional mounted pike pole. Let's go inside the bucket and talk about some of the controls within this area. First, the mushroom here is the red emergency stop. You also have the same controls that we mentioned earlier on the pedestal at the tip. Located in the center, you'll find your ladder controls here. As we move down beneath the controls, you'll find an electrical outlet for your generated power. And on the right-hand side, additional storage location. Down on the very bottom, you'll find an audible alarm. Moving to the right, in the brass color, you'll find your air outlet. Also located in the front of this area, you'll find 2 attachment points for personnel. Let's go ahead and cover some of those areas just in close-up. Once again, same controls that you have at the pedestal with the emergency stop, nozzle control, monitor select for right and left, and all of your AC lighting and also DC lighting and aerial speed. Moving to the right, once again, you're going to find your ladder controls for extend and retract, right and left, lower and raise. And you'll also find your Pierce command zone. Once again, a tremendous amount of information here. You can push through and scroll through all of the menu choices. This is the breathing air in the brass fitting. We'll also find on the right-hand side additional warning and hazard labels here. Your chainsaw scabbard location and also axe and pike pole storage, in addition with personnel attachment. You'll also find information here regarding Pierce specifications when the ladder is in use. Located near the long storage location for tools, you'll find a 20 amp outlet. Moving to the opposite side, you'll find an additional breathing air outlet. Moving up to the top, just to the rear section, you'll find additional storage locations on the right and also on the left. This is once again near the section where the ladder attaches to the bucket. To the very front, you'll find your dual nozzles. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ladder when it is stowed. This is from the tip looking back to the rear section or pedestal. Underneath the ladder, you'll find your Harrison Hydra generator and also location for filling for hydraulic fluid. You'll also find an access location for electrical cord reel. As we look into the compartment, we can see this compartment has an adjustable shelf at the top, a pull-out shelf at the bottom, and then just underneath on the exterior section, you'll find your stabilizer pads. Same configuration as the opposite side of the vehicle, bottle storage location here, in addition with cross-lay compartment storage here. Once again, all storage compartments have LED lighting. Just underneath this, between the two wheels, you have 4 bottle storage locations, with the 4th being underneath the center section. Additional storage above and also beneath. Once again, additional bottle storage. As we look into the next compartment, you'll find 2 pull-out shelves here. The latches are located where the arrows are indicating. Underneath, you'll find your cord reel rewind, once again 150 feet, 20 amp. This is the same through compartment on the passenger side is where you'll find the controls for your cab lift. The red is the indicator for raise and lower, and on the left is the activating. Also located in this compartment, you have LED lighting. Back onto the body of the vehicle in this smaller compartment to the rear section. As we look in between the airflow location, let's go ahead and look inside the cab from the rear section of your apparatus. We'll talk about some of the components here. First, starting with this compartment, you'll find an additional storage light. The light is activated at the very top of the shelf area near the netting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear section here. Overhead, your David Clark headset system, in addition with audible speakers here for your stereo system. You have headset volume and push to talk on the headset. Looking underneath the seats, you'll find, once again, shore power outlet. In the center between the 2 locations, you'll find access for your daily checks for oil and transmission. Generalized view here of the driver's side of the vehicle, additional shelving which is adjustable. You also have a vehicle that is equipped with SRS, a supplemental restraint system. This is the label indicating where it is located. Underneath there is a warning label regarding not to block that area. Also, at all points of entry, you'll find additional warning and hazard labels on all doors. Here's a close-up of that door with those caution and warning labels. As we look to the front, you'll find the fill location for your windshield wipers. At the floorboard location, you'll find your electronic siren and also mechanical siren foot pedals. As we look to the center console, you'll find your parking brake, a barrel-style 12-volt, a siren brake, and also the port for your vehicle data recorder. Let's go ahead and look to the center console itself. You're going to find at the very top your climate control for defrost and heat and air conditioning. Just beneath that, 12-volt access, USB style, and instructions for your generator operation. Looking overhead in the center, you'll find this red light when the doors are open and the batteries are on, indicating that you have a compartment door and not to move the apparatus. Let's go ahead and move to the driver's section. As we look in the step well, we'll find an air inlet. Just up from this location at about the operator's right foot or ankle location, you'll find this placard, manufactured by Pierce for the city of Spokane. Date of manufacture, job number is located here, gross vehicle weight ratings, in addition with tire and cold tire inflation. The VIN number is also located here, which is also located on the A pillar of the driver's side. As we move down, you'll find your fluid capacities for all the components, fluid capacity and fluid types. On the floorboard itself, you'll find your air horn and also your mechanical siren. As we move up about left knee of the operator, we'll find a set of controls. Let's talk about those next. First, starting with the red switch. This is your master battery switch on and off. You also have your regen inhibit, ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics, the engine transmission diagnostic port, and also the display and tech module ports. Moving up from this location, we're going to find your power side windows. This is for passenger side and driver side, front and rear. As we look to the right-hand side of the column, you're going to find your interaxial differential lock and an indicator light when it is illuminated, indicating that the differential has been in lock. Looking up on the left, starting at the top, you'll have your hazard lights, start switch, ignition switch. Moving just to the right, you'll find another set of switches for your headlights and panel, and the small EM switch is your emergency master switch for emergency lights. Generalized view here of the dash. Let's cover some of the components within the dash cluster. First, starting on the left-hand side with the transmission oil, DEF, and water temperature. The two center gauges are your tachometer and speedometer. To the right, you're going to find your volts, your fuel gauge, and then front and rear air pressure. There are also displays where the Pierce logo was located at the top, and just beneath the speedometer and tachometer, additional displays. Moving down to the right-hand side, we'll find your high idle switch and high idle indicator, which is a green indicator. You'll also find in the yellow there is the left push to apply the parking brake, pull to release. Your transmission pad, aerial master, aerial PTO, platform leveling, auto lube fault, differential lock, generator PTO, and load manager. As we look just beneath that, you have an additional set of switches here for your engine brake, transmission, or traction control. This is going to be your Allison transmission pad. As we move to the right of this location, you'll find your flat and convex mirror controls. And you'll also find your David Clark headset system. The PTT is the push to talk for your headset. General view, we've already taken a look at this for the most part, but I did miss there is a 12-volt barrel style plug just above that. Let's look overhead first of the operator. There is a yellow placard on the left. This is the height, 12 feet, 0.25 inches. The length, 46 feet, 8 inches. The gross vehicle weight rating at 39 tons. This also has the job number located in the very bottom, 31252. Overhead of the operator, we're going to find your emergency master, roof light, front warning, and side warning. Just to the next set of switches, you'll find your rear warning, upper rear warning, high beam flash, and also your Opticom switch. There's an additional set of switches just to the right of this location. We'll cover those next. First, starting with the white light cutout, a future switch, electronic siren, siren brake, front basket flood. You have your driver's side and passenger side floods, and then the underbody perimeter lighting. Let's move one more side set of switches over. We're going to find the front scene, driver's side scene, passenger side scene, and then a future location for a switch. On the next set of switches down, you have the driver's side alley lights and the passenger side alley lights, and additional 2 switches here for future add-ons. Located in the center, you'll find your siren control and PA system. On the A pillar, once again, driver's side, you'll find the VIN number. As we look to the rear section behind the seats, you'll find additional Shoreline generator outlets. These are 20 amp plugs. General view here of your 4 seats facing to the rear. Let's cover some of the door functions here. Once again, warning labels, also the locking in red, and also window controls. Generalized view here of the rear section. This is the shelves. There's also a red strap here at the hinged area. This is for ease and access for firefighters and getting in and out of the cab. You can also see that center mount for your daily checks for oil and transmission in the diamond plated cover. Additional image here of the rear seats. You can see the 2 outer seats are fold-up style seats, and then you have 2 forward-facing center-mounted seats. Once again, seat belts are color-coded in red for easy access and identifying if individuals have their belts on. Congratulations, Spokane, Washington, on your new apparatus, job number 31252. If you have any questions as to the orientation of this video, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Congratulations and good luck.